Hey guys, it's Steve Zalunardo and Hussein Kabani in East Meets West podcast. We're here live in Kleinburg and we're here to discuss our week in real estate, a little bit about the market, how new construction is being affected, and also Hussein's topic on mindset today is
That's right.
Minimalist.
Yep.
Yeah, nice.
Yep.
Awesome. Let's do it, buddy.
All right. So week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good week. We sold a few listings going into the weekend, which was nice. And so
you need to unload some of that inventory.
Yeah, so two listings sold, one buyer sale going into the weekend, which was awesome. And then we signed two new listings. One came out yesterday, and today we're taking photos of one tomorrow.
Nice.
And that's it. So everything is still like that ebb and flow where we're selling listings, but we're also replenishing them. And I always say, like, you got to think of your real estate business as a store. So you got to have different products.
Yep.
You know, the luxury market at $2 million plus, but ultimately now we even just listed a small condo in Toronto, right? Like at the 390,000 mark. So you for like a wide spread of property. So our store is full of product. And,
awesome.
You just got to load.
Amazing.
How about yourself?
It's been good. So we did sign like another 3 new listings,
nice.
All in our area, in our trade area. So we got everything in Pickering, one in Ajax. So we're just getting them ready to come to market. Some of these guys have a little bit of an extended closing on their new places. But we're going to choose to kind of go into the market a little bit earlier instead of kind of waiting until the summertime.
Sure.
And then maybe we'll figure out some situation for them, maybe a longer closing or maybe Airbnb or something like that.
Sure, yeah.
We had a couple of buyer sales. We had a really interesting one yesterday. It's in a new community. There wasn't really any comps over there yet. Like there have been, but not this high. Whoever purchased this home through Mattamy Homes, like they actually literally spent $100,000 on upgrading this house.
Wow.
It was gorgeous. Like when you walk in there, like I'm telling my client, like, hey, don't get emotionally attached to the house. Don't get emotional. Look at this. This is just like this. Like there's nothing to it. You know what I mean? Like, like there were so many people that got emotionally attached to this property.
So nice,
They listed it at $599. There have been similar style homes, different square footage, different layout. Obviously not the level of finishes of this.
Yeah.
You know, they've traded anywhere between $620 and $640. So we ended up paying like over $680 for this house yesterday. When you add in all the features and everything else like that, it was definitely worth it. But it's just really set the comp high. Ended up with 6 offers. The agent I was working with was a really good listing agent, so he kind of proved to me that we were at market value. There are other people that were willing to pay around these numbers, so which was great. It made me feel better about what we've done here, and my client felt much better too.
I think ultimately it's like you said, $100,000 in renovations.
Yeah.
If you just split that number in half.
Yeah.
And the last ones were like that 630, 640.
Yeah.
Another 40, 50K on top because of renovation.
But like gorgeous, man.
Yeah.
Like the way that they set this house up, it was just like
house? 2-story?
So it was a 3-story. It was a 3-story townhouse. It was a middle unit, not even an end. No backyard. It has a laneway and a double car garage at the back. So it's like virtually maintenance free. It's freehold, which was nice.
Double balconies. Few balconies.
This one had one, but it was a very large one, and it sat right over the garage at the back. Yeah. So it was really, really, really nicely done. Like you literally don't have to do anything ever to that house. Just make sure you don't scratch anything. Like you don't want to. I'd cry.
That's nice.
It was such a nice house. They did an amazing job on it. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So it's been good. We've been rocking and rolling.
Yeah. Same here. Just keep it rolling.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's going on? What's our topic today?
So we got I think we got some information. You got some information on new construction.
Yeah, and I just want to go into this because I read this yesterday, May 14th. So basically what they were talking about, like remember I've been talking all year, no one's really talked about new construction and how depleted it is and how the market's sort of devastated. Everyone's sort of on the uproar and saying, oh, it's doing well. You talk to even like the chief economist for the major bank that we went to go sit in, and he said it was totally resilient. And then I'll just read a little bit of this, and it says, the start of the title is New Home Prices Flat in March, says Builders Across Canada.
Yep.
And it says total prices declined for the second month in a row.
Yep.
And what's interesting here is that they're saying is that even the builders now, they're just shutting down sites.
Yep.
Right, and just waiting, because we've seen this. We've been witness to this the whole year.
Yeah.
And what they're doing now is what they're saying is that they're not gonna keep building. They're gonna just keep it on.
Yeah, they're gonna hold it.
And there was another good point in here. I was reading. Oh shit! Oh, they were saying it was a good point. Was they said that now the builders are negotiating the price actually at the table rather than how they always said like a retail price you're paying this plus whatever. Now it's like we're asking this, but we're going to negotiate down to this.
How it used to be.
Yeah,
like you could still make it. Like
good old days.
some people don't know that back in the day with builders, you could actually make an offer.
100%.
You could actually go lower than what they've asked.
And it used to be contingent on the sale of your property.
Yeah.
It used to be contingent on, some sort of improvement to the property or as a price.
Even financing, like they've taken that away from you.
Yeah. So things are getting back to normal.
Yeah. So just in line with new construction, so in Pickering, close to the areas that I work in, there's a lot of development happening over there. Like they've had planned in North Pickering, like over 70,000 residential units to be going in. That new community is called New Seaton, and it really started to sell November 2015. When they were selling November 2015, it was awesome. So I ended up buying a unit in there as well. But see, the thing is, at that time, it was very cool because I was selling that same unit resale 2 or 3 years old for like $400, and I bought the same thing for $350. So right away you could see the value. You're like, okay, I'm $50K ahead. I'm buying it a little bit under the money, and that's why new construction was so lucrative. And then what ended up happening was that these builders created massive lines and everything else like that, and they just started charging, like overcharging for these properties. Yeah, because they could. And to be honest, like I don't think it was the smartest thing on consumers' parts to follow up with it, like keep going with it. Like I keep saying, like they thought it was never going to stop, and when you look at the numbers, it clearly indicated something was wrong. And you know what? So what happened was that I talked to a lot of people within these communities and who've purchased into there, and so the New Seaton actually did a release like 2 weeks ago, and there were people that actually went and lined up again, like since like 8 p.m. until the morning or whatever. I think by the morning time, if I'm not mistaken, there was around 300 people there in line.
Recently?
Yeah, very recently, like 2 weeks ago. But what happened was that now you can actually say this product is available new, and I can buy the same thing for resale. Do you know what I mean? Like now the pricing actually makes sense. But the thing is that a lot of this product is already starting to be built. So part of it is that when they sold townhouses, people committed to buying townhouses, but they didn't sell out the entire block.
Sure.
So they're obviously building it, and they need to sell it. So that was part of the inventory that was, I would say, on sale. And they also had buyers that had backed out.
What was the builder?
So there's 3 builders in that particular area. So it was a smaller one called Tower Hill. And then there was Aspen Ridge and Brookfield. So Aspen Ridge and Brookfield, obviously big. But
Aspen's my builder.
Yeah.
My house.
So what ended up happening was that I believe that there was people in like 2017 that paid over the money for these properties, and the appraisals just didn't come through. What I also heard was that there was people that paid like for bigger homes, but they've paid like 1.4, $1.5 million for these homes, and the builders actually came back to them and reduced the price by $200,000-$300,000 just in order for them to be able to close.
This was we predicted this all in 2017, right? Coming in and this is exactly what's happening. The builders are going back. They want to close because their profit margins are massive.
It's huge.
In these properties.
It's
so
huge.
They can shave off 200-300 G's and still make a $200,000 to $300,000 profit
and not get stuck with that property.
And not get stuck with the property and turn over inventory and ultimately move on to the next project, right?
But you know what? It's cool. Like you did predict it, but now like when we look at it, fast forward 2 years, right? Like when we fast forward 2 years from now, it's like it's actually unfolding, I would say, almost the same way.
100%. And so another prophecy that I've committed to is 2020, how that's going to be a different year altogether, where it's going to be sort of a reckoning, if you want to call it, if that's too intense to say. But I mean, that's where you're going to start to see some of the wormholes basically being exposed, right? Some of the rot, because there's a lot of it out there, and I'm starting to witness it. And now they're starting to report, like even now, just regarding new builds and what's happening, how everything's stagnant and everything's getting lower, and they're shutting down projects. Like we knew this going in from 2017, 2018. You already knew this was the end product.
Yeah, what was going to happen? But like even last week, I was doing like a class presentation at a high school, and I actually I do it. A couple of times a year, so I was updating my slides and stuff like that, and I went through one of my slides, and you can clearly see the rate of appreciation. So it was a high school in Markham, so I just pulled detached homes in Markham, and I pulled it for like 24 years worth of history, and you could tell from like 2013, 14, 15, 16 to 17, like the increases were just gigantic.
10, 15 points.
Some cases 25 points.
For sure.
17, 25 points. It was just stupid.
Yeah.
you know. But like, you know, I got that hint for sure in like 2016 that this is not going to be
Yeah,
doing
it's
well, you know.
unsustainable, yeah.
And I also had a new house that was closing, but I chose to go on the market a bit earlier and just like get over with
Oh
it.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, but you can never really time it correctly. Like you get the
yeah.
indication that it's going to come down, right? But it's like, how far along do you want to take this ride until it starts coming down?
You know what? So real estate. The good thing about real estate, you can watch it, and
Yeah,
it's a slow moving. It's like if you ever see a cruise liner
yeah,
making a turn, it's very slow
yeah,
to make that turn.
yeah.
When you get into stock markets, it's like a
Quick,
speedboat.
quick.
It turns
Yeah,
on a dime,
yeah,
and
and you're
either you're
done.
making or you're losing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
The thing with real estate, so we kind of so 2017. Imagine 2017 was the only year I didn't purchase real estate in Toronto.
yeah,
Besides selling my own property
yeah,
to capitalize on the sale and purchasing at a lower price, that was
yeah,
the only thing I did. I actually put money in the States, even
yeah,
though they had a different president and everyone's disagreeable with that president currently now.
yeah,
But I put money into Miami, right,
yeah,
in a REIT,
yeah.
and that was way before anything happened, right? Like that shutdown and after, let's say, Kathleen Wynne in April.
Yeah.
The writing's on the wall, and now you just follow it. You know, I reported one of my Mondays with Steve there, 48% insolvency rate at $200 away. Like, come on, man, that's insanity.
Huge. Yeah, yeah,
Like those are clear indicators that affordability is not there. Not only that, the job right now, like our area here in Vaughan is predominantly construction based. You know, this is like a lot of people own different businesses, sub trades and stuff like that. These guys are all home,
yeah,
and a lot of these guys, you know, it's none to their fault, but everyone's purchased, taken on debt. And you know they make a great living, but they're not doing it right now. So
yeah.
if there's $200 away from insolvency, 48%, how many of those guys that are home now that are?
It's massive.
So you're going to see product hitting the market and this race to the bottom. So I have a client I spoke to yesterday. We're trying to buy property like at the 1516 range, and they're panicked because we sold their house. And I'm just saying, be patient, because look now, like just in Nobleton alone in my area, there's 51 listings.
Yeah.
There's never 51
Yeah,
listings.
yeah.
And that's a luxury market. So, you know, let's say 35 of those properties are in 1.2 million plus. Like, come on, man, Nobleton's it's linear, it's very
Yeah.
small. So
Yeah.
it's just there's four corners really to have like 35 million or 35 properties over that 1.2
That's crazy.
million.
That's
range.
crazy.
So what's happening is we're looking at one area. It's called Nobleton Gates, and there's the Turnberry is the model, because I remember selling it for the builder for tribute back in the day. So I know the model well. And there's like 5 of them competing against each other now. And then yesterday, one dropped 180,000.
Wow.
The other one dropped 150K. Another one dropped 100 Gs. So, and these are huge adjustments.
Wow,
Why?
that's
Because these
massive.
guys want to capitalize that last buyer. So there'll be that race to the bottom. I tell my clients, just be patient. It's all gonna come true. We're gonna secure this deal for you.
Yeah.
You'll be happy. Just
Yeah.
be patient. Like real estate's like that. You can't, sometimes you gotta rush in, but at this time now, you just be cool.
Yeah, I think especially right now, like, I mean, if you've sold a house and if you have the ability to wait a little while, it's what we've been saying too. It's like,
Yeah.
I think you only really have to go about 30 days, maybe less, right?
Yeah.
Until you really see that race to the bottom,
Race
as
to
you
the
call it,
bottom.
really get aggressive. Like, I think those properties are going to stop turning in July for sure. They're
sure.
done.
They're done. Yeah.
I think the lower price properties will still probably
Yeah,
go, right?
there's still
Like smaller things, 700 and below probably will still keep
Yeah,
turning.
absolutely.
But anything that's above that 1.2,
it's-
1.5 range, it's
Especially
going to be
there's
dead.
so many competing. It's almost like a condo.
Yeah.
Especially that area. There should only be like 5 listings. When you got like 20 in this one little pocket,
Do you think a lot of these people that are on the market right now have already purchased?
I think a lot of them are in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of
Yeah,
them are in
financially,
trouble,
in
yeah.
order to float
Yeah.
these places?
1,000%. I was at TD, and I'm very curious, and I ask the poor guys, I ask everybody questions. Doesn't matter what they do. They could be sweeping the floor, asking what's the technique and what kind of product are they using for the shine, right?
Yeah.
So I'm at the bank, and we're signing stuff, and right away. So what's going on, buddy? How's business? Oh, it's going well, this and that. So what's the main, your appointments? Who's coming in? What are they doing? Kind of thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
It's like a lot of refinancing.
Yeah.
He goes, oh, no mortgages?
Yeah.
All refinancing.
That's what I've been hearing for a while, actually. Yeah, it's so true.
And I asked them, I said, refinancing for what? Are they buying investment properties, or what are they doing with their money? No, just clean debt.
Lifestyle.
And
It's what we've been talking about.
Upscale area, my
Yeah.
area, right? To have a Nobleton there, and then to do a lot of refi, like.
This is I think this is really what's coming down to, and you know what, like even kind of shifting right into like kind of a little bit of what we're going to talk about next, even the mindset thing. And I think these conversations that we've been having, and then going back and kind of like internalizing them even for myself, it's just like, you know, some of the stuff, it doesn't even make sense. Like I think that people, including myself, like go over and try to buy this kind of a certain thing, but you don't really have the necessity for it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So even if I look at like my position over here, like
switch gears,
yeah. So like even in my position over here, I'm like reevaluating the assets and everything that I own, and I'm like, hey, why do I own this? Why do I own this? And do I actually have any? Am I getting any use out of it? Is it creating any wealth for me? Am I getting any enjoyment out? Am I getting any enjoyment out of it? You know. A lot of the stuff I look at, I'm just like, it doesn't make sense. You know, it boils down to stupid things. Like when I really had to boil it down to stupid things, and you may or may not agree with me. Like it's like stupid. That soap, the soap freaking pump, right? Like you got to fill up. I'm thinking to myself, this is a freaking headache, dude. Like I don't want to keep refilling this goddamn thing. Give me the plastic thing. I like squish it out, and that's it. This thing's done. I toss it, man. Why am I gonna complicate my lifestyle?
Yeah.
You know, so it even boils down to things like that. So now what I've done is that I'm looking at other assets that I own, and I'm saying, hey, like, can I actually sell off these assets, and can I do something more productive with the money? You know, can you reinvest it back into like commercial or multi-residential, or what can you do with this money? So I'm starting to look at things in a different way. Haven't really like decided on anything yet, but like I'm really looking at it in a different way.
No, for sure. I think even for you, for the position, like, yeah, why not? You have an opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, when you got a family and then the whole thing, it's hard to make these moves. It's that cruise ship.
Yeah.
These long.
Yeah.
Like even for me, I can't sell that.
No.
Like, that's the size of the house I need for the kids and the whole thing for growth, right?
Yeah.
But in your position, why not, man? If you could,
Yeah.
if you can unload right now,
Yeah.
and put X in your hands,
Yeah.
where you can lend it out, buy more real estate, and have other investments. Oh my gosh, tonight.
But you know what? So,
Where do I sign?
Yeah. So certain part of the hesitation comes from this, right? Like, say the area that I'm in, I really like it, and it's like I don't want to move far from that area in general. And I know I eventually want to own a place like I have right now. I just don't have the need for it right now. I can actually do more with the equity that I can unlock from the property. But this is another way of looking at it, right? So the other way of looking at it and saying is, hey, like I'm comfortable with building, but like not like full out building, but I have enough support that I can build something. So is it worth looking at something that has like a little bungalow on it right now that's within the area? Because we have a lot of teardowns happening over there. Yeah. So is it worth looking at something that there's a little bungalow on it right now and saying, hey, I'm going to buy this, I'm going to live in it, and then 3 to 5 years from now, I'm going to knock it down and build something that I actually like. But in the meantime, I've unlocked, X amount of money, and I can actually leverage that in the market somehow.
Make money with the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good opportunity. If I was in your position, look, I just unloaded rental properties.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that.
Sure.
Why did I cash out of it?
Yeah.
My personal residence, impossible.
Well, the situation, right? Yeah. The situation is completely different, right? Yeah. Like if I was in your situation, I wouldn't even have that thought.
Yeah. So yeah, why not unload, cash out, and go? Why not? It's quite brilliant.
Yeah, and it's just like I think that there's so much opportunity. So I was talking to some people that I work with on different things, and some of the stuff that they expose me to, even like verbally, of what the ability is, what you can do with, like, say, if you're able to unlock $500,000, if you're able to unlock $500,000, how much of a return you can actually have, what you can buy into, and how much of a return you can have. Like
it's huge. Yeah, you can buy multi different investments too, right?
And it depends on your network too, and it has to do a lot with trust too. Like I feel like I have a couple of people around me that are very strong and a very good network to have, and even buying positions with these people at the same time. Like these guys would go out and buy something that's really ridiculous that you probably wouldn't be able to afford on your own, right? But then to buy a position into it,
of course.
Like
it's great, buddy. It's the problem is, even in our business, we're commission based.
Yeah.
And we're residual, but not. I don't know if that even makes sense, because we're commissioned. So could we make residual income? Not really, because we got to go out and find it. It's like going out in the forest and hunting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You got to always forage and grab something. like when you got residual income, like I know the guys you're talking about, like where it's automatically just that's what you need, right? In order to make bigger investments.
But see, I like even speaking with them, you know what I mean? Like even sitting down with them and saying like, hey, how do you go about doing something like this? The number one thing comes up is that to create residual or passive income. Yeah, like you know, some of these people I know, they don't go anywhere in general. It's not like they're sitting home and just chilling. Like their mind is working. They're online. They're looking for investments. They're going out. They're checking things out. They're actively looking for
entrepreneurial spirit, right?
So they're actively looking for opportunities. But they're not committed to going into an office 9 to 5 and seeing this and keeping this.
You know, for some people it works, right? I met some people. You know, you meet people every day, but I mean, ultimately, like, we'll look at Gary Vee yesterday. He says, if you by 30, 35, 40, if you haven't done anything and you're working for somebody, you're not an entrepreneur. Yeah. Because, you know, even he says, because if you were an entrepreneur working for someone, every day is hell. Yeah. You're just always in pain. Yeah. And I remember working for my dad and stuff like that. It was always like painful to go in. Yeah. It was always like mind over matter. It was just but some people are okay with that. Like our other employees that work with us alongside us, they were okay with that. That was life. But for me, I was burning. I would burn every day.
See, even my drive up here, so like I get off the 407, I come 400 North, and the place I used to work at is called Applica Consumer Products. The building is something else right now, but today I was driving through it, right? Like like
PTS.
Well, you know what? I was thinking to myself, like, you know what? I worked my ass off for these guys. You know what I mean? And like the shit that we did for this company, that probably nobody even knows we did for them. It was unreal. It's irrelevant. Yeah. Like there was one year that we like I literally recovered like before their quarter end and bonuses count. Like 1.3 million dollars in deductions.
How did you on your back?
Dude, it was I got nothing. I got nothing. I got literally nothing out of it. Nothing. And this was like days and nights. Like this was coming into the office at 5 in the morning.
That makes you who you are, right?
Leaving at 1 in the morning.
Always do 120%. No matter what.
But like nobody like really said to chase this down or whatever else. I just saw the opportunity and I just kept doing it. And then once they found out what I was doing, they asked me every day, like, hey, did you recover this? Did you recover this? Did you recover this? And then once you do recover it, and it's like, it's not like when you sell products. So when we were selling product, we may have had a 15 or 20% profit on it. This was like cash recovered. It wasn't like you made $1 million sale and like, you know, had 150K profit. This was like $1 million recovered. And they were just like, oh, that's great. Thank you.
Good job, Hussein.
Are you kidding me, man? Job. Yeah, are you kidding me? But you know what? Like, I'm very grateful too, right? At the same time, because like my educational background and being able to be afforded the opportunities that I actually got out of there, they got kind of what they wanted, and wow, man, like the experience I got out of that place really leapfrogging me forward.
All building blocks. And you talk to some people, and I remember there's a friend of mine, and we had like because I'm very passionate when I talk to you, right? Because if I anyways, maybe I'm too passionate, but anyway, ultimately it was, you know, I was, you know, everything I did, it was always more. Yeah. I remember when I was a mechanic, I would work like 14 hours a day, 15 hours a day. I didn't give a shit. Yeah. And I'd work like a dog. Yeah. Because I just enjoyed the work, right? And I remember, you know, and then when I was in construction, I was working all day, you know, doing courses at night to better educate myself with the blueprint reading, the whole like managerial style of construction. Yeah. And work my ass off. Like I could have done half the work at work and still like had more energy to do it at night. But no, you know, 110%. Yeah. And when a gentleman said to me, he's like, why would you do all that? You're only getting paid X. Yeah. You should only do X.
I've heard that.
And I'm like, that's such a poor attitude, because if you can't do above X and add Y to that, even though you're only getting paid X, you're never going to get to Z.
You're not going to get there. There's no point.
You're not building that muscle. Yeah. Yeah.
It's the same thing, man. Like when I went to work at that company, Applica Consumer Products, like I went there as a temporary worker unloading the containers, right? I'm moving these boxes as fast as I can. There's another guy beside me, and he's just like, hey, man, slow down. Like we're temporary. Like they're going to send us home, man. Like I want to get the full day. Dude, I can't do that. Like I'm just like powering through this whole thing.
Head down and go.
Man. Like even when this company, when you go through a temp agency and they're going to hire you, they wait at least 6 months. These guys hired me in 2 months. Like actually brought me on full time, like within 2 months. Yeah, they're like, we're not gonna let this guy go.
So look at the different mentality, and then you rose right through the company, and then ultimately you run your own business today, right?
Yeah.
With you know, you strolled in with a Viper this morning, which was pretty cool.
Yeah. Those are one of the joys.
Be careful, it's slippery down there.
Those are one of the joys, right?
You know, no, just are thinking. We're always thinking and talking. You were talking about minimalists.
Yeah.
And then if you kind of look at life in general, we're so irrelevant.
Yeah.
This is so crazy. I was so listening. I listened to Napoleon Hill a lot too.
Yeah.
Like, so he had like 80 odd years to do what he did, but he was just like crumb.
Yeah.
We're so irrelevant, and then with ego and everything else, we feel like we're so important. We're so irrelevant.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
So enjoy your day.
Think about a guy like Elon Musk. Like, I went through his entire documentary, and he tells you, like, you were nothing, I'm nothing. But look at what this guy is actually doing. Like, I don't know. Like, I guess, like, there's Steve Jobs, and I put Elon Musk up there. Like, Elon Musk has, like, changed the world. Like, this guy is doing something.
He revolutionized.
But this guy is, like, somebody that's actually done something. Like, I'm listening to his documentary that someone did, and it's just, like, this guy, when the Teslas were coming out, like, this guy's, like, underneath of the cars, like checking everything himself and whatever, like sleeping in the factory. Like this guy's like,
even till now he's sleeping in the factory.
This guy's nuts, but he's making use of his time.
When they released the Model 3, it was behind schedule or something. He stayed there and he didn't go home.
Yeah.
So 2 divorces and a whole bunch of stuff.
And what do? We work, I don't know, 8 hours, 10 hours a day, and we're just like, oh, we're fucking...
So totally irrelevant. Yeah. I got an email yesterday. It was some billionaire that passed away. I kind of Googled him. I can't find who he really is, but he says, so his dying words, that passed away of cancer or something of that nature. And he says the 6 best doctors in the world. Number 1, sunlight. Number 2, rest. Number 3, exercise. Number 4, diet. Number 5, self-confidence. And number 6, friends.
Yeah.
So I don't know how real the story is with this gentleman. Like, I never heard of him, but these were his dying words, like a whole
crazy
message. So he says, I've accumulated. He died at 56, and he's
wow.
Something in the billions, 6 billion or something. He's like, what's the point?
But that's the thing. Like, what is the point? Like, look at this. Like, even from my own personal experience, like the house that I have right now is 3,600 square foot house. Do you know what I mean? Why do I need this house? But I'll tell you something. When I was do I regret buying it? 100% no.
Not.
But the thing is that when I was getting it, people asked me, they're just like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Because I want it. Like, I want it or whatever else. Now that I think I've been in that lifestyle for like 2.5 years, I've lived in that house. Now I really look around to it and I'm just like, what the hell is the point of having this thing? Like I told you this morning, it's daunting. Now when I pull up to it, it's daunting a little bit.
There's a thing too, because you have a stove that you don't use.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things you're not, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to use the shit of it. And that's how you appreciate it.
But it's even like, I got 4 bedrooms, man. 4 bedrooms. Like 3 of them I've never been in. Like, I wouldn't say never, but like, I mean, like, dude, like I come up the stairs, I make a left into my bedroom. I don't go on the other wing of this house. No. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not even there.
Fair enough. It's a big house for you. But I'm saying, but even like your main floor, you got to enjoy like everything there. Use it till it's...
See, I'm not going to. I'm not that guy, right? So the thing is that, like the appliances I have, they're overkill. Like, I'm going to be upfront and say that they're overkill. And I'm afraid. I'm afraid to touch them. But so I don't want to. You know what I mean? So it's not the right place for me anymore.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so it's not the right place. Yeah, it's not the right place for me anymore. And hey, you know what? Like, I think that overall with what it is and how we've done in the market and whatever else like that, we're still going to turn a good profit over on the property. So... I think, I'm getting closer and closer to the point of like flipping it and just moving on. Yeah, moving on and using the money wisely.
Remember I gave you that example, like, so anything that I buy, I use it to the ability.
Yeah.
Even so that the Benz, like the car we drive, it's in Sport Plus manual. It just drives like that. I don't keep it automatic, car for comfort. Why? Because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then, do I waste 10 times the fuel? Of course I do.
Yes, of course.
But it's all about the drive for me, right?
But even look at this, like...
I was thinking about a C300.
Yeah. Look at this. Like, even like, I don't like telling people about the Viper or whatever else. Like, I think plenty of people know that I have it. This morning, I even hesitated. Like, I had the Benz started up, and I was going to go, and I got in the car. Like, I was thinking about taking the Viper. I was thinking about, like, and I even got in the Benz, and I was about to take off, and I said, I don't know, something doesn't sit right with me today. I'm going to take the damn thing. So I said, but everything went through my mind. The kilometers, like, this, and I said, you know what?
Yeah, you got to do it,
man. It's going to have good weather today.
Remember I told you about my it was in Saint Martin. I bought a $3,000 watch. A tag, right? So
that's hilarious.
It's a diver's watch.
Yeah.
It's like 500 meters.
Yeah.
Right away, I put it on, and I went right in the ocean with it.
Crazy. You're a crazy bastard. I still wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that.
That's gonna be president at the moment.
Good for you.
Anyway, let's sign off.
Yeah, man.
Going. Awesome. Hey guys, it's thanks for tuning in.
Yeah.
Hussein Kabani and myself appreciate all the watching. We have like something over like 800, 900 minutes watched last month, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So if you guys have any questions, like Holly, send us that question and we'll do the research and we'll get you the information that you need. Please forward it to us. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, guys. If you guys have any questions, like I said, send it over to us. Thanks for tuning in.
Awesome.
We'll see you next week.
Ciao.
Cheers.